Gee, if this is coordinate geometry. This is not something which is new. You've already done that. And coordinate geometry is used in many aspects of life, such as this example of an airplane. If you know your coordinates from where to fly and where to land, that is helpful. In coordinate geometry, we'll be covering gradient, distance, midpoint, slope, equation of parallel line, equation of perpendicular line, and we have 3 weeks for this, including this one. In this current week, we'll only do gradient and distance. So you're well sure about this one. Anyone, can you tell me the formula for gradient?
Sir, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1.
That is y2 minus y1 or x2 minus x1. That's right. M is the symbol. We'll be using this symbol, and this is the pattern you'll follow in exam. There was one more thing we used to do. One is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. You might have heard change in y over change in x, or delta y over delta x. If rise over run. So you do it anyway. All three are correct, but the first one is recommended. So let's solve it together for question 1 part A. If I say the gradient is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, may I substitute these values?
Yes.
I'm taking second point as 2, so this is 1 minus 0 over minus 2 minus 0 is minus 1 by 2. This is 1a. Can you solve from question 2 gradient of BC? Gradient of line BC. If you don't have anything to write, just dictate me, I'll write it.
सर क्वेश्चन नंबर 2 एक बार कर दें.
बेटे बहुत इजी है, स्टार्ट तो करें. What is the formula for gradient? Just
y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1.
y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So when I'm asking about BC, I have these coordinates. So let me say the second point is 2 and the first one is 1. So y2 is 0 minus 5. Any doubt in this? 0 minus 5.
5 over 6 minus 5.
Minus 5 over 6. So you get minus 5 over 6. The other thing we need to discuss is that all the gradients which are in this given direction, whatever the quadrant is, whatever the length of line is, these are positive. These all are positive. And all the gradients which are in this direction are all negative. And if we have these x's, let me change the color, and we have a horizontal line, what is the gradient? Gradient of horizontal line. Shabash, try it. Gradient of horizontal line is 0.
0.
And anyone knows why it is 0? This is y2 minus y1 over
Parallel
x2
to x-axis.
Yes, that is parallel to x-axis. That is why we call it horizontal. And the reason why it is 0 is because y is not changing. So when y2 and y1 are same, when you minus them, subtract them, you get 0. And what about the vertical line? If I draw a vertical line, these are the x's. What is its gradient? Now the denominator will become 0 because x is same. This is undefined. If it ever comes in exam, you just write the word that this is undefined. I'll do one question with you. You have to do the remaining, and the questions are question 3, question 4, question 6, question 7. Minimum of these. You can do more if you wish to. So I'll do question number 3 with you. It says if the gradient of the line joining these two given points is this. Points are given and gradient is given. So just substitute it into the formula. M is equals to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Gradient is already given, that is 3 by 5. Y2, let me say that is p minus 7 over x2 minus x1. Just check it once if there is any writing mistake. Go through it once. Let me know if I've made any mistake. Did you find any?
No.
Okay, let's simplify it then. This is 3 by 5 is equals to p plus 7 over 4 plus 3, leaving behind p plus 7 by 7 and cross multiply. 7 3 times is 21 by 5. 21 by 5 is equals to p plus 7. Then we subtract 7. So 21 by 5 minus 7 is equals to p. I'm taking LCM. This is 21 minus 35. Difference between 21 and 35 is 14. So p becomes minus 14 over 5, that is minus 2.8. This is how you'll solve it. There are two more things you need to know, and that is if you ever see this thing this is a is equals to 0, and when you see this sign as cancelled out, this means a is not equal to 0. That means you cannot use the value of a equal to 0. And the other thing is, if you are finding two values, you will discard the one which is 0. This is just right here in question 5. So you'll do question 3, 4, 6, 7. Make it 5, 3, 5, 6, 7. Fifth one is a better question. And one more thing which you need to know is this word collinear. So what does collinear means? Collinear means that these points, they lie on one line. So if I write this is point A, this is point B, this is point C, may I say that gradient of AB is equal to gradient of AC? Any doubt? Because it is one and the same thing, it is the same line, they'll have the same gradient. Or I can write gradient of AB is equals to gradient of BC. So this is how you'll solve question number 7. Is that clear? Any confusion? Okay, for you it is page number 148 in your books, and in this soft copy this is page 106. In your books it is exercise 6A. Do this carefully. We'll be taking this as syllabus of your exam. In your test it is only quadratics and indices. In exam it will be quadratics, indices and part of coordinate geometry. Only what we will do. So you've done this in grade 7 and grade 8. Just practice this. If you have any problem, do consult. If you want to ask anything, you may ask. This is it for today.